Hello and welcome to Patriot Stadium for today's boys soccer crosstown rivalry matchup that features the Wayne Valley Indians and your Wayne Hills Patriots. Alongside Jason Hook and Jake Talerico, I am Noah Sandler as we bring you this matchup. Last week on the first day of schools, Hills beat PV with a final score of 3-1. The goal scorers for that game were Kareem Zierban, David Glicksman, and Nick Montalto. Now, Jake, who is your key player for this game?
My key player for today's game is Kareem Zierban, the senior forward for Wayne Hills. Last game he only had one goal, but last year he did have 6 goals. He's a very impactful player on their offense.
Yeah, I mean he's a great player for this Hills team, all-around player. As we're getting ready to start off this game here, both teams are in their huddles. It's about 73 degrees here on a beautiful night as the sun is just setting in the first few minutes of the game, and we're looking to get started and play some great soccer.
Yeah, last week Wayne Valley defeated West Milford to score 6-1 for their second game, and then for their first game they beat Lakeland of a score of 5-2. So far their offense has scored a total of 11 goals, and their defense has only allowed 3 in 2 games.
Yeah, and the head-to-head for these two teams is 4-1 in the last 5 games to Hills. Last time these two teams played twice last season. The first time was on October 1st when Hills beat Valley 3-1, and then on the second time, October 15th, Valley beat Hills 2-0. Those were some two great games. Both of these teams were great last season. We're expecting a lot from both these teams, especially Valley. We'll see who comes out the winner tonight, but either way, I think it's going to be a really great game tonight.
The Wayne Hills just came out of their huddle and now coming out on the field waiting for Wayne Valley to come out of their huddle.
Starting goalie for Hills tonight is Jeffrey Ondamu, the senior. Believe he's kind of switching some time on and off between him and Anthony Quasis, the two seniors. But Ondamu is getting the start tonight in goal for Hills. And last year for Hills, I'm not sure if anyone in our audience remembers, Hills made it to the county final when they unfortunately lost to Montville by a score of 3-1 on November 21st. But they really had a great season. They won the first 2 rounds against Morris Hills and Mendham, and then they lost to Montville 3-1 at the end of that season.
Yeah, they just had a great season last year. We called a couple of those games, especially the one in Montville. Even though they lost, they just had an overall great season, and every single player, it seemed like, on the team clicked.
Yeah, excuse me, that was actually the state sectional final, not the county final of that game when Hills beat Montville in the final. Both teams just coming out onto the field now. It looks like, according to our rosters, the goalie for Valley is Robbie Sineros, the sophomore.
Seems like the Patriots have a lot more senior players than it does compared to Wayne Valley. There's a lot of juniors and a mix of sophomores for Wayne Valley, as even their starting goalie is a sophomore, which usually teams don't put much trust in sophomores.
Student sections are kind of showing up here. Pretty small student sections tonight so far. Hills is 1, Valley is 1. Hills is all maroon, and it looks like the Valley student section is wearing jerseys of various different sports teams. And we're just about ready to get this game underway here. Waiting for the ref signal. And we're off. Here's D'Amato passing it back to Riva De Niro. And that goes all the way back to the goalie Ondamu for Hills. And he rolls it over to Catania. And that is out of bounds.
I'm wondering what the approach is going to be for both teams coming out to start. Obviously, we see Wayne Valley having an explosive offense in the first 2 games. But let's see if they're going to stay on the attack and start to score early.
Montalto has been a great player for Hills. He's already gotten the ball a few times so far in this game. He had a goal in the last game. Here Schutz, and then gives it over to a Valley player, and that's back to Ondamu, the goalie. And he kicks it all the way downfield. And chasing after it very fast was Bashir Tamus, who's down in the Valley corner, fending off a few defenders. And that finally goes out of bounds, and that will be Hill's ball. Waiting for another ball here. Now throwing it in is number 8, Ryan Schutz. And that goes in, and it goes to the head of a Valley player, but Schutz gets it back and takes a shot, and that is just saved by the goalie Cisneros for Valley. What a save there, but a great shot by Ryan Schutz, who got the ball back after he threw it in. Kind of made a bad pass when he threw it in off the head of one of the Valley players, but he got it back and took that shot.
Yeah, Ryan Schutz basically took his own pass, had a really good shot, just a better play by the goalie.
Now down on the far corner. Can't really make out which player that is, but Hills is kicking it in. And that is far. And that is a goal for Hills. I believe that was number 7, Kareem Zirban, with that goal. It is 1-0 Hills.
Yeah, 1-0 Hills, only not even 3 minutes into the game. Just a great start overall. It looked like to be a pass in from the corner and then headed both times from the close side of the field and then right into the goal.
Back to some action here. That kind of got the crowd going here. And now here is coming Hills again, but Valley gets the ball. Now that was deep downfield, intended for Rivadeneira. Now here is Zirban, who gives it off to Rivadeneira for Valley, but he gets it back. Here's Zirban again. Ryan Schutz attempting with that ball. And now Catania passing it over the Schutz. And deep to the other side of the field. Back over the Schutz. That was De Silva passing it in. Catania tried to get another shot off. Bashir Tamus near that ball for Hills, along with Montalto. But Valley gains possession and kicks it all the way out of bounds towards the Hills bench.
Yeah, so far, getting a little chippy out there for both teams, bumping into each other, kicking each other. Definitely with the crosstown rivalry, there's definitely going to be some action.
Here's Schutz passing it to De Silva. Excuse me, that's Adam Kachani with the ball. In for a header was Montalto, and now back in his own corner. Here's Catania again. And the foul was called on that play.
Looked like Catania was looking for the foul throughout that whole entire offensive drive for the Patriots. He finally got it, and now it looks like it might be a free kick here.
Yep, that is going to be Jake Hecker. Jake Hecker kicking it. And that goes just wide of the goal and out of bounds.
Yeah, missed opportunity there for the Patriots. They got the foul call they were looking for and just could not produce. Obviously, it showed when they passed multiple times, they got the goal. Maybe they should have looked to pass more.
Now here's Valley on the far end of the field trying to get something going here because most of this game has been in possession of Hills on the Valley side of the field. It's number 6 for Valley, passing it back to Lucas Messercola. And that is passed deep in, but Ondamu is there. Ondamu there to make that nice save, avoiding that collision there with that Valley player. That could have been an issue that he stopped.
Yeah, Ondamu very aggressive, came right up on the ball, snagged it before a Valley player could even come close.
It's Montalto for Hills and gives it over to a Valley player. Esposito down and out of bounds, and that will stay with Valley. Oh, the referee was saying he went too far there on that play.
Referee still telling him to walk more towards him. Now it looks like he's good right where he is.
But he keeps walking down. Not sure why he's doing that. Esposito, and tripped up was Montalto on that play. And that is out of bounds on Ryan Schutz and Dan Croce to pass it in for the Indians.
Yeah, Esposito looked like he was trying to trip the Patriots player there. And it did work, but there's no foul called.
Now that's deep into the corner of the Patriots. And that was out of bounds on the Indians. It looked like that Valley player kind of pushed that Hills player down on the end. There was no foul call on that. And the referee is saying he has to move down.
It looked like it was Nicholas Montalto who was pushed right in the back, but there was no foul called.
Seems to be a little bit of confusion. Glicksman will take the ball here. And that goes in and out of bounds. And now passed in. But Bashir Tammous looks injured down on the field. Looked like he kind of stepped down on his leg weird there. Hopefully this isn't anything too serious. Kind of limping around on the field. It looks like he's going to stay in the game.
I'll be honest, I did doubt Noah on the amount of fans that would show up for today's game. I was only expecting a small student section, but it seems to be growing as we're only about 10 minutes into the game.
Here's Glicksman to kick it in. And that goes deep in. And diving in was Cisneros, the goalie, and that ball went out of bounds.
There looked to be a little bit of friendly fire there.
Currently over at Wayne Valley, the girls team is playing in a varsity matchup at the same exact time, so I wasn't sure where the student section would be for this game. It seems like could be split. I'm not sure how many people are over there at Valley, as Hills is looking for this corner kick here. And there was De Silva. And they're calling. Hills was looking for the handball on Valley, and I do not believe it was called. In for the corner kick again. It's kind of blocked away for Valley at the moment. See, here's Ethan Russ kicking it in, but the Valley defenders do not let that ball go in. Russ again, looking for some action here. Kareem Zirban on the far end of the field, with two defenders on him. It's Bashir Tamus. Taking a high and far shot was Jake Hecker, which unfortunately went all the way almost to the woods on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, completely booted there by Jake Hecker, but Patriots staying aggressive on offense. Seems like it's been on the Valley side of the field almost this whole entire beginning of the first half.
Now that here's Valley with the ball on Hecker. Hecker with a nice spin move there, fending off that defender. So here's Adam Puchani on the far end to Schutz. And Schutz passes it in, intended for Montalto. And that ball goes out of bounds. And that will be Valley ball. It looked like that ball was out on Valley. I wasn't too sure about that, but the referee called it for a Valley ball.
Seems to be someone getting that ball that was completely kicked out of the whole entire stadium here.
That's kicked deep to midfield, and there's Hecker. And Catania. Here's Montalto. But the Valley player was there. And tripped up was number 8, Dan Croce for Valley. And I'm not sure what the referee is calling that. Looks like number 11, Rivadeneira, was arguing that. But number 6 for Valley is going to pass it in.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit aggressive here. A couple trips, a couple pushes. Wayne Hill still has a 1-0 lead.
And over there is Kachani, and that ball goes out of bounds. It will be Valley ball. I mean, this is obviously the Hills Valley rivalry. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit of a more chippy game on a day like this. Night game, student sections from both schools here. But Hills has the early lead 1-0 with 27 to go in the first half. Rivadeneira on the far end for Valley. And now Schutz is going to pass it in to Kareem Zirban, but the Valley defender is there. That's passed over to Hecker, about midfield. Intended for Montalto, but the Valley player comes in and passes it right towards the center. And that ball will be out of bounds, and it will stay Valley ball. Passing it in is Croce to D'Amato. Now back to midfield to number 6. And kind of taking it back, taking a second to regroup as a team. And Valley is looking to kick this ball down the field. And Valley was taking a shot, but the defender was there, David Glicksman. And that ball is kicked out of bounds by Valley.
Yeah, so many bad passes so far between both teams. It looked like Valley was going to drive down, and then they make a bad pass after intercepting a bad Wayne Hills pass. Mistakes are adding up for both teams.
And that's out of bounds again on Valley. And Ethan Russ will be passing it in yet again.
Yeah, Ethan Rush passing the ball in. He's actually the only sophomore on the Wayne Hills varsity roster.
Not sure what's going over there by the referee. It seems like he called a few of the players in. Maybe giving him a quick warning for some actions. Maybe some smack talk between the two teams. Ryan Schutz throwing it in. Intended for Zirban, and that goes deep and out of bounds. Now here is Valley with the ball, deep in their own zone, with Zirban kind of up in there, looking to get some action off these defenders. Deep kick for Valley, and looking to keep it in was number 13 for Valley, but it looked like that he was able to keep that ball in bounds, but the referee called it out of bounds. The Valley student section did not like that, as it's now passed back in. Bashir Tamus on the ball. Tamus to Catania. Catania with some defenders on him, and Valley clears it. But here's Montalto. And number 8, Dan Croce for Valley is down.
I don't know how Bashir Tamus got even out of that three-pile jam and somehow got it down the field, but it did not seem. I mean, we saw the Valley player obviously fall over. It did not seem like there was contact made where they were trying to hit him. He just jumped and ended up spinning around, landing right on his back, but you still find it in the game.
Croce able to get up with no problem here. And now that's deep into the zone, and Ondamu is there to make that save. With the offensive player for Valley coming right at him. He had to make that quick save. Now kicks it to midfield. Down on the other side of the field, that ball was intended for Schutz, and it goes out of bounds.
For me, it seems like Valley cannot just get on the Patriots' defensive side of the field, as the Patriots almost got a little cheap goal there.
That was a little bit dangerous there for Valley goalie and defenders, as a couple of offensive players for Hills were kind of coming in, looking for a little bit of a cheap goal off the goalie. But one of the defenders came in for Valley and kind of kicked it out to avoid that problem. Now, Jake Hecker will have the corner kick here. And that will be kicked in. And that ball goes out of bounds. Here's Valley with the ball at about midfield, and tripped up was Hecker, and the whistle is blown. That will remain Valley ball on that play. So Valley defenders have it at about midfield.
Yeah, still 1-0 here. Valley trying to find a way to get around this Patriots defense. Get it somewhere near the goal here as they're attempting to pass it, and it's taken away again by the Patriots.
Here's Montalto. Now passes it over to Zirban, and that is kicked out of bounds with 21 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first half here, about halfway through the first half. Now here's Ethan Russ passing it in. Montalto there, and he gets tripped up. But here is Catania. Catania centering it. That pass was intended for Adam Cacciani, but he could just not get that shot off. He had a wide open opportunity there.
Catania with an ankle breaker towards the bottom left side of the field. Had him around, centered it in the middle. It just seemed like he could not find an opportunity to get a good shot off.
Valley with the ball on their own side of the field here. Kicking it deep. And that was an aggressive hit by David Glicksman, which makes the Valley student section not too happy here. A little bit of confusion of whose ball it is. They get the ball from the spot of the foul. Passed over to Croce. Leaving room for Tamus. Bashir Tamus with the ball. Gets tripped up. And Rivadeneira for Valley passes it back to his goalie, Cisneros.
Halfway done with the first half. Valley still can't get anything to go on offense as Wayne Hills is just being basically annoying to them, taking the ball away every time they get possession.
Now here's Hills. Ryan Schutz. De Silva. Now here's Valley looking for an opportunity, and they do not succeed as Kachani now has the ball at about midfield. And what a save there to keep it in. Now here is Valley looking for a real opportunity here. Finds Croce. Croce passing it in, looking for an opportunity. And a handball is called on number 17, Josh De Silva, for Hills. That is an unfortunate call.
Yeah, when it's down that close near the goal, that might be a free kick for whoever Valley picks here. Obviously, Wayne Hills seems like they earned their goal playing great defense. You don't want to give them a free goal now at this point.
Yep, and that will be a Valley free kick. Can't quite make out what player that is, but Ondamu in goal looking for the save here. And that goes in for a goal. That was number 10. We do not have his number on our roster. That was number 10 for Wayne Valley. And they score on that free kick. It is now 1-1 with 18:45 to go in the first half.
Yeah, it seemed like Jeffrey Ondamu even went towards that side, just could not get all the way over there in the corner. Almost a perfect shot there by the Wayne Valley player.
Unfortunate for De Silva and the Hills team, but hopefully they'll be able to recover. As now is Kareem Zirban starting off with the ball for the Patriots. Passes back to Hecker. Over on the far side of the field. Kachani. Kachani again with the ball. Now here is Valley looking for another opportunity yet again. And they score on that play. But I believe there was a whistle called a few seconds earlier. And that is no goal. Not sure what that whistle was for. I assume it was out of bounds. Maybe Ondamu wasn't really expecting it. I'm not too sure. But it is no goal as Hills has the ball again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for Wayne Valley. They looked like they had a goal, but the whistle was blown before the shot was even taken. As they hear, they have another opportunity.
Yep. Valley looking for another opportunity, trying to center it. And Ondamu with the save, along with David Glicksman there to help him out.
Yeah, Glicksman coming all the way down the field, stepping right in front of the shot, could not get the ball crossed over.
That was a little bit of a mishap there by Valley, as Hills looking to gain possession again. That was Bashir Tamus. And substitutions are allowed as De Silva is going out, and incoming is Trojek, I believe, along with one other player, and Catania is going out. Not sure who came to sub in other than Trojek. But with 16:50 to go, the game is tied 1-1.
Yeah, Catania, one of their big impact players, making a bunch of plays for them early coming out of the game.
It's Jake Hecker looking for an opportunity. Ryan Schutz. And that is Richie Seasonstone, who's now in the game. There's Adam Kachani with the ball on the far end of the field, who passes it over to the Valley defender. And that ball stays in bounds, but Hills does get possession back. Here is Hecker. Hecker again with the ball. Gets tripped up. Whistle is not blown. And Ryan Schutz with the ball for Hills. Montalto in the action there. Now it's all the way back to Rojek. Here's Ryan Schutz. Kicks it in, but that was an easy save for the goalie, Cisneros, for Valley.
Yeah, Schutz, maybe they should have played it where they should have passed more and get it over the middle to one of his teammates, but 15 minutes left in the first half. Obviously, the game's tied now after the free kick, but Patriots playing really good defense.
And a Valley player is down. He seemed like he got pretty hit hard in the stomach by a kick off of Jake Hecker. Seems like he is okay and got back up. That was Gianluca Esposito. That's passed over to Riva Denera. Incoming was Zirban looking to gain possession off that defender. Valley with the ball now on the far side of the field. Looking for another scoring opportunity as the whistle is blown. And two players got tripped up. That was D'Amato and Hecker. But Valley will remain with the ball. They get the ball at the spot of the foul. Looked like that foul was on the Valley player. I guess it was not.
Yeah, towards this past about 5 minutes, all I've heard is the whistle being blown every just couple seconds, it seems like. Looks like Wayne Valley is going to be trying to score another goal here.
And that's kicked in. But there to stop it was Glicksman. Now down the field, Schutz. Here's Kachani on the near end. Back over to Schutz. Now kind of settles it back to Glicksman, who is unable to keep possession. And now Valley has possession of the ball. And that will go all the way back to the goalie, Jeffrey Ondamu.
Yeah, Ethan Russ kicked it right to the other team right there. Unfortunate. It looks like they had a little bit of a breakaway, but Schutz could not get past the left side of the Wayne Valley defense.
There was Season Tone over there. Now Valley with the ball again. It's Rojek. Kind of a fight for possession here. Valley has the ball at the moment. Kicks it all the way in. And there was the defender, Rojek, for Hills to use his head and get that ball away. And incoming was Ondamu to stop that ball.
Yeah, Wayne Valley, no shot on goal there. Basically with them being on the offensive side. As Jeffrey Ondamu kicks the ball here. Patriots definitely looking to score as they've come close many times.
Yep, that one goal early on in the game, about 3 minutes in, and that's been it. Of course, tied 1-1 with that free kick by Valley with 12 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, Wayne has a couple shots on goal so far, but not as many as of course they want. I'm definitely looking for in the next about 12 minutes or so until this half comes to an end for them to be more aggressive on offense.
Believe there are some substitutions right now. And on the far end of the field, Hills with the ball. Passes it in to De Silva. And that ball goes out of bounds as the Valley defender was not able to handle it. Shuts on the far end of the field. Looking to get a running start here. Passes it all the way in. And that is just over the goal off the crossbar. That was Nick Montalto with that header there.
Just that kick alone was a nail-biter. Every single fan in this stadium said, ooh, as they saw the ball just barely get over the top of the net. The ball wasn't touched. It bounced once on the ground, and it was headed just a little bit too hard.
Valley with the ball all the way down to midfield. Passes it deep in. Valley with the opportunity. And what a save by Jeffrey Ondamu. That was number 13 for Wayne Valley, but Jeffrey Ondamu was there to make that save.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ondamu got right in front of the ball. Didn't even have to move much. It really wasn't a great shot by Wayne Valley with basically nobody around him.
Croce passing it in for Valley. Rivadeneira. And now here's Hecker for Hills. Finding Bashir Tamus, but Valley gets the ball back. Here's Valley with sole possession of the ball right now. I've been noticing in these last about 5 to 10 minutes here, the ball's been kind of staying in the Hill zone a little bit more. They haven't been getting as much offensive possession as they were in about the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it seems like the first half, Wayne Hill has always had the ball, and they were always getting shots. And it seems like they were just completely outplaying them. And then once Wayne Valley got that penalty shot goal, it seems like the momentum completely switched.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you could see in a game like this. One quick little moment of the game, one little mishap for a team, and the entire momentum can just shift. And the Indians with the ball yet again. Rojak was there. Now Hill's looking to get possession back, which they've been able to do in the last few minutes. And now here's Valley looking for another opportunity. And that is centered by number 13 for Valley, but the defenders were there for Hills, including Rojak and Glicksman.
Yeah, Wayne Valley players seem to always be on the ground and looking for a call, but the referees today are definitely letting them play.
I mean, the referees must know this is a game where it's not going to be totally clean as Valley passes it in here. Bashir Tamus looking to get possession back for Hills. And they're unable to, as what a move. Look, and number 13 for Valley was looking to center it, and that goes wide of the goal.
Yeah, what a move there. Obviously could not finish it off. I mean, he had ankles snapped all across the top right of the field, but could not get the pass over.
Ondamu to kick it in.
Yeah, Ondamu getting a lot of action as of late.
Definitely a momentum shift here that we've been noticing. Again in the Patriots zone. Finally kicking it away was Glicksman. And that's to Schutz, who kicks it deep in. The Valley defenders are there to deal with it. And a foul was called on that play against Wayne Hills yet again.
Yeah, Wayne Hills players are so aggressive. It seems like they're bumping into each other going down the field there. It looked like Gabe Catania and Ryan Schultz were bumping into each other just trying to get to the ball.
Here's Valley again at about midfield. Takes it over to Reba Denera. Valley defenders there. The Hills defenders. Here's Bashir Tamus. Looking for found Season Tone. And again, all the way on the other side of the field. Zirban. Zirban looking to find an open maroon player, but is unable to. And Zirban gets the ball back. Here's Season Tone taking a shot, and that goes wide of the goal. Montalto there dealing with the Valley defender as that ball stays in. Montalto with the ball, with many defenders on him. That gets blocked away. And that goes back to Ondamu. With a couple players in front of him, he had to get rid of that ball quite quickly. With 5 minutes to go in the first half, here is Hecker. And that's kicked all the way in and above the goal.
That was definitely a lot closer than the goalie made it seem to be. It seemed like it just got over the goalpost there. But Wayne Hill is still missing on multiple opportunities, having multiple shots in this later half of the first half.
Yep, that was Josh De Silva there on that high shot. With 4:24 to go here in the first half, Cisneros, the goalie for Valley, to kick it in.
Yeah, 4 minutes left to go and counting down. Wayne Hills, their defense has been great as of late, but their offense needs to pick it up as they haven't, as Noah said earlier, haven't scored since the first 3 minutes of the game and really haven't had much opportunity on offense.
Here's Valley with the ball. Passes it back to a fellow defender. There's Russ gaining possession back, and here is Bashir Tamus. That is kicked deep into the Valley end, but the goalie's there to handle it effectively. Here's Valley over to the other side of the field, and that ball is kept in. Chasing after is a Valley defender and Zirban. Both arrived at about the same time, and Valley gets possession. With 3 minutes to go in the first half here at Patriot Stadium, again tied 1-1. Over on the far end of the field, and that's passed all the way back to the goalie, who's looking to make a play out of it, passes it to one of his defenders.
You can see the attrition setting in after playing about 47 minutes of soccer here. 37 minutes. Both teams are running a little bit slower and not having as much contact.
Yep, halftime will definitely be useful to both of these teams to kind of regroup. And now here is Valley looking for an opportunity. And that is a goal for Wayne Valley. The Indians have scored yet again, and they are up 2-1 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half. Ondamu was trying to handle it, but was unfortunately unable to, as that was too good of a play from one player for Valley to another across the middle of the field there.
Yeah, that's the last thing that you want with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the first half is for Wayne Valley to take the lead. Not a lot of time left as Patriots make another sub here if they can somehow score.
Passed over the Mount Alto on the near end of the field. There was Salos with the ball. And now here's Valley again looking for another opportunity.
He has no teammates down there.
And what a nasty play by Jake Hecker. Didn't really catch exactly what happened. It seems like both the guys kind of spun around. Foul is called, and the player for Valley is down, but he's getting up and is hopefully okay with 1:30 to go. Valley up 2-1.
I mean, it looked like Jake Hecker almost tackled him as he spun him around, but I'm not sure if he landed on his tailbone or something or just on his back and lost his breath, but it's a little bit of a long time for the Wayne Valley player to be down. And a minute left and counting in the first half.
Yep, a minute and change here. Valley up 2-1. Looking to get a few more shots in with under a minute to go.
Yeah, another opportunity to score here. Being up 2-1, having another score here would be a complete advantage for Wayne Valley for the rest of the game.
Yup, here's Croce here at the spot of the foul. And that's centered. And that is not effective. Hill's kind of looking for a final opportunity here at the end of the half. And that ball goes out of bounds. 15 seconds to go here.
Yeah, that looks like it's probably going to do it here for the first half.
And that will do it for the first half here at Patriots Stadium. Valley up with a score of 2-1. Don't go anywhere. Second half action and first half recap when we come back.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hill student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5.
Welcome back to Patriot Stadium as we get ready to start the second half with Valley up 2-1. We've had a really great game so far. A couple of momentum changes. Hill started off as a stronger team, and the half ended with Valley as a stronger team. We're going to see what happened in their huddles and how each of these teams decides to go about the second half here, and I'm excited to see the way this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing that first goal from Wayne Hills really set the tone as we thought it would, but then, that handball and the goal. So Valley ended up getting that penalty kick, really changed the momentum, and then they ended up getting that second goal, which really put them in the spot that they're in right now, which is really big for them because, if they get 1 or 2 more goals, they could be set for this game.
Yep, that was an unfortunate turn of events there with that handball and that kick for that goal, which really was the momentum change, as we said in the first half. Again, alongside Jason Hook here for the second half. We had Jake Talerico with us for the first. Jason will be with us for the second half. Again, I am Noah Sandler as we're starting off the second half. Here is Hecker. And Season Tone. And now Valley with the ball here. Again, starting off with some strong possession like they had towards the end of that first half. Valley centering it. And the defender is there. That was Rojek.
Close call there as Valley attacker did a flip over one of the Hills defenders. An interesting turn of events there.
I believe that will be called a foul on Hills. We've seen a lot of those As it's been a chippy game. Of course, Hills and Valley, this crosstown rivalry.
I mean, these two are really just, two big names. I mean, both great soccer programs, and going against each other each year, they see how great each other becomes.
Yep, Valley kicking it in here. That was unsuccessful as the defenders were there for Hills. And now coming up the field and sliding was Schutz. And here is Bashir Tamus down towards the far end of the field for Zirban. Zirban with about no one to help him as he's waiting for a couple guys to come in. Trying to center it. Montalto was there, a couple other guys. And that was unsuccessful as Valley going down the field with this ball. And now tripped up and the whistle is blown. That will be Valley ball. Getting a little bit chippy here between the two teams. Couple fights being broken up in the middle of the field. Valley section's very unhappy with the turn of events that just happened. There's been a lot of fouls, as we said, most of them against Hills in this game, only a few against Valley.
I mean, yeah, this is a big rivalry, but at the end of the day, these kids all live in the same town. A lot of them pretty close friends. I mean, it's surprising to see, a push there from one of the Hills players. I mean, it's surprising to see, that there really is some beef right now between that call and, what they thought should happen.
It's a penalty kick here. Number 10, we do not have him on our roster, but that is number 10 for Wayne Valley. Ondamu again, the starting goalie for Hills. And that's kicked. And that is stopped by the wall that the Hills defense formed. And that ball goes out of bounds. And here is Montalto. No, excuse me, that is... Not quite sure what player that is over there. That's Ethan Russ on the far end of the field. Passes it in, remaining on the sideline. Here is Schutz. Passes it back to Jake Hecker. And tripped up again. Another whistle. This time, it was against Valley, and at the spot of the foul, the Patriots have the ball. Kicked far down the field. Valley's there for a header. Now, here's... Whistle is blown. And this will be a Hills ball.
Another whistle blown. We've been seeing that a lot. I mean, especially in these first 5 minutes. Something that, we did see a couple times that first half, but we didn't see it so much that it was happening, I believe, just 3 times in these first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yep, Montalto with the kick here. And that goes wide. No goal. Not sure who that was out on. It's going to be a Valley ball. Kick towards the middle of the field. Here's Hecker. Both teams looking to gain some nice possession here. Schutz. And that ball goes out of bounds. Schutz again to pass it in. Passes it in towards the middle. Valley defense was there. Now here is Catania. Catania passing it over the road check. He gets knocked down. No whistle on that play. And that will be a Valley ball.
Very unfortunate call there, as we saw Catania did fall down. Looked like he was gonna eyeing the ref there for a call. Unfortunately, it did get him, and it came back to bite him, as Catania was then called for that foul on the Valley player.
Now here is Valley. D'Amato. That's kicked on the sideline. Now Hills with some possession. Here's Tamus. Tripped up, and that ball goes out of bounds. They're saying it was out of bounds on Hills. And Valley will pass it in. Passes it back to one of his own defenders. And incoming fast was, I believe that was Tamus there, looking to try to get a cheap goal kind of off the defender. Seems like a Valley player is down and injured, but play is still going on. Schutz on the far end of the field. And tripped up. There's Schutz. And they're saying it is Valley ball. That is kicked towards the hillside of the field. Now here is Hecker. Passes it over to Season Tone. Then now that's kicked up, intended for Catania. Catania with some nice moves there, avoiding two defenders. Catania tries to center it in for Zirban, but it is unsuccessful. And now it is back to the Hills defense. Richie Seasonstone coming in as the defender. But Valley remains in possession of the soccer ball. And now that goes back to the goalie, Cisneros. And that is kicked way out of bounds. I'm not sure what his intention was with that kick, but it is totally unsuccessful. Here is Catania. Catania with a shot. And that goes through the goalposts and out of play.
Very unfortunate overshot. Catania's really been showing off his footwork, and unfortunately it just hasn't been going for him. I mean, he's great when it comes to getting past that defender, but those shots have been a little bit off. Something he's really got to work on.
Yeah, sometimes in that situation, you just got to be a little more simple with your shots. Don't overdo it. I mean, he was definitely trying to avoid the defenders, and he knew where the goalie was. I'm assuming he was intending to go one of the top corners, but it just went too high. Here's Catania. They're saying that was off his arm. Catania does not agree with that call. Many, many whistles against the Patriots here so far in the first 10 minutes of the second half, as there is 29 to go here. Here's Valley in the Hills corner of the field. Kind of faked out Schutz there. And Schutz gets possession, and that ball remains in bounds. Taking it for himself is Tamus. Bashir Tamus with the ball with many defenders around him, and he is tripped up. Very chippy game. He gets tripped up. Still on the field, and it seems like he's going to be okay. But he is still down. Both student sections had something to say about that. Both student sections have had something to say all game.
It was really unfortunate. I mean, Tamus really looked like he got a shot at getting past that defender, and unfortunately just, kicked that foot out and tripped him. Hopefully he's going to be okay, as, I mean, he's a great player to watch and a great player on the field just in general.
The clock stopped, and out comes, I believe, one of the coaches or trainers for Hills. So he is still down. Again, that is Bashir Tamus. Both teams are going back into team huddles by their bench. Still waiting. I mean, he's had a great game so far. He's been aggressive. He was aggressive on that play. Again, Zierban with the only Hills goal, but he has made some nice plays. He's been a very big part of this game so far.
I mean, yeah, aggression's really been the mainstay of this game. A lot of calls all over the place, but, his aggression is a lot different. He's really aggressive all over the place, physically and mentally. He really wants to win this game, and it's really unfortunate that he got tackled there.
The Valley student section is kind of calling out, wanting him to get off the field. But obviously he is an injured player, and they're going to give him all the time he needs until he is ready to get up. It seems like he's starting to sit up now. And he gets up. And he is able to limp off the field. Not sure what player is coming in as a substitution for him. Trying to figure it out. Seems like a few of the Hills players are kind of having a little bit of a conversation with the referee, kind of pleading their case here, discussing how many fouls there's been against Valley, especially that one. And then this will be, I believe, Jake Hecker with the penalty kick. Again, Jake Hecker here. That's kicked in. And that is no good. And the Valley goalie was able to handle that ball. Kicked up and out of bounds was Cisneros, the goalie for Valley. And here is Richie Seasontone to pass it in. Excuse me, now it is Dominic Rojak. Finds Catania. Catania looking for some action here. Passes it back to Rojek. That's up to Schutz. And there's Catania there. And another whistle on the play, and that will be Valley ball at the spot of the foul. This is Reba Denera for, now it is Lucas Messercola for Valley. And that's kicked deep in, but Schutz was there as the defender. Now here is Catania for Hills. Catania kind of trying to push off, and that is a Hills ball. Now going out of the game is De Silva. And coming in is Adam Kachani. Season tone. It's back to Ethan Russ. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Valley ball. Now here is Valley looking for some action deep in the Patriots zone. And the defender, Dominic Rochek, was there just to kind of get rid of it and kick it out of bounds. Now that's passed in. But Ondamu's there to kind of scoop it up and wait for the right opportunity to pass it in to one of his fellow Patriots players. At about midfield, kind of back and forth with possession here, playing some nice defense as both teams. And Schutz pushes down number 12, Jacob D'Amato.
Another call there on the Wayne Hills Patriots. It seems like they've been getting a lot more aggressive here in the second half.
Referee kind of explaining to Schutz what he did and why that's a foul on that play. And now that's kicked in. And taking a shot towards the middle was Valley. Now that ball goes out of bounds, and that ball comes into the student section. Now there's some substitutions. Now coming out of the game is Schutz. And in is number 25, George Setsalos, the junior. Valley with possession of the ball now. Some nice moves by number 10. D'Amato with the ball. And now kicked in, looking for a goal. And it is centered. And that goes wide for Valley. Just wide of the goal. A nice setup there. They were looking for the right opportunity. And that ball goes out of bounds with 23 to go in the second half. Again, Valley up 2-1 over the Patriots.
Only 2 shots taken this half, both of which have either been wide or high. Neither one has been on target. And something that Hills is really going to work on if they want to take this, tie it up, and then take this lead. And something Valley needs to do if they want to continue this lead.
Now, that ball goes out of bounds. It will remain a Wayne Hills ball. In this half, the momentum's kind of been with both teams. Both teams have had some decent moments. Nothing great that we've seen from either of the teams. But Hills is desperately looking for an opportunity here as they center it, and that ball goes out of bounds. That will be number 21, Jake Hecker, the senior, for the corner kick. Kicked in. And that goes over the goal. I believe that was number 10, Gabe Catania, looking for the opportunity there off of the corner kick.
Catania for the second time so far this half, just over the goal.
Now here is Valley going up the field with the ball, looking to add on to their 1-goal lead. Now that's passed back. A little bit of a handoff there. D'Amato with the ball with some nice moves against Sasalos. Looking to take a shot, and the defenders are there for Wayne Hills. Now down the field. And now tripped up and pushed down with Zirvan. And this will be Hill's ball at the spot of the foul. It will be Jake Hecker here on the kick, and I believe a yellow card was just called. Not quite sure what we're waiting for here. Still waiting for the referees to blow their whistle. And here is Jake Hecker with the kick. And that is in and is blocked off by an Indians defender. Then I believe that was, actually there was no whistle on that play. And here will be, oh, now they're calling it a Valley ball. Originally, that ball was called for Hills. On the far end of the field, here is Valley. And then tripped up again, and there's another whistle. And that ball will be for Hills. Here's Valley. Number 30 for Valley. Passing it over to Riva Denera. Now that's passed over. Valley again looking for an opportunity. And that is kicked just high over the goal. Ondamu would have been there to make the save. He jumped up there. He was expecting it. Now, here is Ondamu to kick. With 17:50 to go in the second half here at Patriot Stadium. Again, Valley up 2-1. Here is Schutz. Passes it deep in, looking for Zierban. Zierban is there, but the Valley defenders are able to break that up. Now here is Valley going down the field. And Ondamu is there to make the save. That was number 10 for Wayne Valley with that kick. But a nice save by Jeffrey Ondamu. A little bit of trash talking going on over here between the two student sections. They're actually pretty close to each other. You'd expect them to kind of be taking their distance. Valley student section is on the hillside of the bleacher. I'm not sure why they didn't go to the other side. A little bit of trash talking as we have 16 to go in the second half. And I believe... Oh, we are still waiting on a down player. That was number 10, I believe, for Valley, who took that shot. The athletic trainer, along with a couple other coaches, are on their way out there. A lot of trash talking going on over here. We're still waiting on the down player for Valley. Seems like a little bit of a fight is brewing over here. As number 10, I believe, for Valley, is able to walk off the field with the help of two coaches. Again, 16:46 to go in the second half. Valley up 2-1. Just getting ready to start back up here again. We're still waiting on the Valley player to get off the field. This will be Hills with the ball here at about midfield. And that is kicked deep in. Looking for an opportunity with Schutz. Now that's back out to about midfield. Here's Rojek. To Schutz. Now Schutz passes it back to Hecker. And over to Rojek. Rojek looking for an open player wearing maroon. Here's Season Tone on the near side. Now that's over to Rojek. And Valley is able to gain possession back and clear it. And what a stop there by David Glicksman to break up that play for Valley. Here's Valley on the play. Kick deep in. And that ball goes out of bounds. It is Valley ball. Valley looking for another opportunity and into the corner. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be Valley ball. Nice kick in there towards the center. And it will remain with the Indians with 14:35 to go in the second half. Now, incoming with Season Tone, who misses that ball. Kachani, and now Rojek with it. Rojek centers it to Hecker. That's broken up by number 12, Jacob D'Amato for Valley. Deep down the field, the Hills defenders are there. And Hecker again, looking to get some sort of life out of this team and get a little bit of an opportunity here as we near the final 10 minutes with 13:37 to go. Now Hills looking for Bashir Tamus, who's back in the game after he was down just a few minutes ago. Now, Valley with possession. And now here is Bashir Tamus with an opportunity. And that is broken up by the Valley defender.
Beautiful stop there by Jaden Kennedy, stopping Bashir Tamus from getting that wide open look. Nice little slide tackle, and that'll force Hills to get the corner kick.
He had a great opportunity there that was unfortunately broken up as the defender was a little bit faster. Kind of got under it and stopped that. Now for the corner kick. And that goes in. Over to Rojek. Rojek takes a shot. And that is still high up in the air. Here's Season Tone. Season Tone remaining with possession. The defender unable to kick it away. A lot more white over there than maroon. And yellow card was called on that play. I'm not sure who that was against. Again, 11:40 to go here. Looking for an opportunity is Hills, and that is broken up by the Valley defenders. And now deep into the Patriot zone. Now Valley with the opportunity. And on the move with the save as that shot went wide. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there on that play. Maybe trying to kind of duke him out and trick him and get like a nice easy shot in. Ondamu was there to kind of stop that as the ball was going wide. And now this ball will remain with Valley with 10:56 to go. Valley with the ball. Kicks it in. Now here is Jake Hecker. Passing it down the field. Looking for an open Zierban. There's Zierban again. This is now a Patriots ball. Here is Montalto with the shot and a save by Cisneros. With 9:24 to go in the second half. Rojak. Now, looking to make a defensive play there was Rojak along with Kachani. And that goes out of bounds. And it will be a Wayne Hills ball as they're looking to get another goal here as the clock is winding down. Here's Hecker. He was tripped up. Now there's a lot of pushing and shoving between both teams, including Ryan Schutz. And breaking it up over there was Bashir Tamus. I'm not sure what was called on the play. It didn't really seem like there was any sort of bad, nasty defensive play there. It seems like
it's been a lot of back and forth so far this game, but, you know, I wasn't expecting this. I mean, it looked seriously like they incredibly mad at that call there.
We're waiting to hear what's going on. A lot of pushing and shoving and a lot of talking. Some yellow cards. And now Schutz is coming out of the game. And this will be a Valley ball. with 8:11 to go in the second half. Shuts out and believe that's Ethan Russ in. No, excuse me, I believe that is another player. Referee still talking, trying to figure out what's going on. It will be a Valley ball. Now here is Valley with the ball. And blocked in there. The defense there as Hills is looking to get the ball down the field. And that pass goes out of bounds as Rojek is tripped up. This has become a very, very chippy game. Now Valley again with the ball with 7:25 to go, up 2-1. D'Amato. Looks like number 10 for Valley is hurt. Doesn't really know what to do because can't come out of the game. And now he's looking to come out as that ball was kicked out of bounds. That will be a Hills ball. There's a lot going on the field right now. Seems like there might be too many guys on. A lot of substitutions. With 6:30 to go in the second half. Looking for a little bit of life out of this Hills team. Here's Tamus. With possession. Passing it to Kachani. Kachani to Catania. Back over to Kachani. And that is blocked by the defender. And here's Rochak with the ball. Passing it across the field to Ethan Russ, the sophomore. Here's Zirban. And Montalto in the far corner, and that ball is out of bounds. And that will be a Hills ball. Actually, it will be a Valley ball. And the whistle is blown, and they're saying he pushed off. And this will be whose ball will this be here? Seems to be a little bit of confusion. The defenders are getting kind of close for Valley. Jake Hecker to kick it in. With 4:40 to go in the second half. Here is Hecker. Can't get it in. And that is saved by Cinceneros for Valley on the ground. Now here's Kachani back as the defender. And here is Ondimu kicking it towards midfield with under 4 to go here. A lot of pushing and shoving. Now deep down the field. Here's Hecker. Hecker still with the ball. Has Tamus. And the defender comes swooping in for Wayne Valley. Kachani with the ball. Passing it to Catania with 3:20 to go. And the defender in Cincinnati was there looking for a foul on that play. He does not get it. Furious with the referees at this point in the game is Wayne Hills with 3:04 to go in the second half. The player is down for Valley. The clock is stopped on that play. The intention was probably to kind of chew up some clock, but it seems like this player is actually down. We can't quite tell which player it is, but he's down all the way on the far side of the field near the Hills bench.
It's the third player from either team that's been sent down to the ground. I mean, just showing how aggressive these two teams have gotten today.
Again, 2:46 to go. The player is still down on the opposite side of the field. Valley up by a score of 2-1. Looking to get a little bit more out of this Patriots team, get another goal, kind of tie it up. But the momentum has really been with Valley ever since pretty much halfway through the first half when they scored that free kick. As he's being helped off the field, it is Hills with the ball. It will be either Schutz or Glicksman. I mean, not Glicksman, excuse me. Hecker. And here is Schutz. Tripped up. And that is called. Now, it will be Schutz to kick it in again. Excuse me, now it'll be Hecker. Towards the middle. And coming in for the swooping save is Cinceneros for Valley. With 2:12 to go in the second half. Seems like the opportunities are kind of winding down for Hills, but they are not giving up at this point of the game. No whistle on that play as he was tripped up. Here is Schutz. Over to Catania in the middle. Catania passing it over to Kachani on the near sideline. Catania again with 1:37 to go. And that is taken by the Valley defender. And 1:18 to go. Valley takes a shot. And that goes wide right. Looking for another ball. Trying to get one final play here with about a minute to go. Here's Catania after the ball. Kicked up. I'm not sure what was called on that play. But with 50 seconds to go, Valley has the ball. And the time is stopped. 39 seconds. Valley with the ball as the clock is winding down. And that ball goes out of bounds. Clock is still running. Valley is just taking their time here, looking to kind of run this out as the clock stops. Here's Valley. Hecker in with 15 seconds to go. Quick save by Ondamu. Oh, and that is kicked to the side. And 10 seconds. And that will do it for this game. Wayne Valley with the win with a score of 2-1. This was a very chippy game. These teams are not happy at each other. This crosstown rivalry lives on. Valley student section very hyped up. What a game by both teams with the momentum shift in the first half. Unfortunate, and that does it. Well, that about wraps things up here at Patriot Stadium. Once again, the final score 2-1 with Wayne Valley winning. For Jason Hook and Jake Talerico, I am Noah Sandler, and we will see you next time here on Wayne Hills TV.